We're now counting down the final few days to Google's big Parasite SEO deadline. 2 months ago, we had a really big update where Google seemed to be specifically targeting mass AI spam and other manipulation tactics like expired domains and Parasite SEO. So this idea of reputation abuse is what they've been calling it. So repurposing expired domains and utilizing powerful websites for their authority to rank your pages. But very unusually for a Google update, they actually announced it in advance and said, loads of people are reliant on this Parasite SEO. We're not going to tank publishers overnight. We are going to give you 2 months to sort your act out. Now, that immediately had alarm bells ringing, because if they already had the algorithm, if they'd already made the fix, then why didn't they just implement it? So I don't quite believe that they've truly got it right. So I've said for a long time, it seemed to me like a lot of posturing, where how do you fix this problem of people using these powerful news websites, buying guest posts and ranking those pages? Algorithmically, it'd be very difficult to do, to filter that content from other content, and loads of livelihoods depend on it. The whole way the news and media works is advertorials anyway. So how on earth are you going to go after this time-honored industry just because of SEO spam is going to be really challenging. In fact, Google itself has said it doesn't actually have a problem with that kind of advertising. Many publications host advertising content that is intended for their regular readers rather than to primarily manipulate search rankings, sometimes called native advertising or advertorial. This type of content typically wouldn't confuse regular readers when they find it on the publisher's site directly or when arriving at it from Google search results. So that's already kind of contradictory, but supposedly when May the 5th drops, Google is going to be taking both automated and manual actions on Parasite websites. So is that going to happen, and what do we do about it? And indeed, what's already happened? Before we go on, don't forget to go to seojesus.com, click on my Ranking Revelations newsletter. You can sign up absolutely free, just fill in the form. In just the welcome email, there's a load of great resources for you, and I'll be sure to send you lots more in the future. Now, I've said for a long time that the real damage of a statement like that isn't necessarily going to be an algorithmic penalty, but human nature. The fact that Google made this statement with 2 months' notice kind of implied PR. So my biggest concern was, what's that actually going to do to the news publishers? Are they going to stop accepting Parasite content? And to an extent, that's what we've seen. So when I started doing Parasite SEO, I was reaching to Outlook India directly, and they were charging me $600 per post. But since then, I've discovered Samrat at SEO Ace, who's been able to get Parasite posts on Outlook India and loads of other posts for a much better rate through some sort of bulk pricing. I don't understand how he's doing it, but it does work. So anytime there's a big change coming up on the publishing side of the Parasite situation, it's always he's the first person I reach out to find out what's going on. And he said, indeed, the Outlook India in particular, the most famous Parasite SEO site, has been increasing prices 25 to 40% from the end of April, and then exact pricing from, well, today, in fact. So I had a load of credits with him that needed spending, so I've just blasted out a load of content just to use them up. But already we're starting to see pushback from traditional Parasite websites. Do I think it's going to be commonplace? Notice that Outlook India isn't refusing Parasite content, they're just charging you more for it. And I suspect that's what we're going to see across the board, because for a lot of these websites, Parasite SEO is a major money driver for them. So why wouldn't they take advantage of this situation? They can reduce the amount of Parasite content they publish, but make much more money from it through these price hikes. But make no mistake, even before this deadline, there does seem to have been some big changes in the Parasite SEO search results. So just LinkedIn Pulse, for instance, I was one of the first to report that pretty much as soon as the update dropped, so 15th of March, the update came out on the 6th, we saw this massive decline in LinkedIn Pulse's traffic. Now, intriguingly, the traffic value has actually continued to climb. So traffic went from a peak of 46 million down to 30 million. So a good 30% reduction, whereas the traffic value has gone from 18 million up to 37 million. So that kind of implies that LinkedIn's still ranking for really good queries. And it's important when you're doing this that you're actually quite careful to filter out what are the actual Parasite posts going on here. Because by its very nature, Parasite SEO sites have got lots of content on there. Lots of them are actually based in India. So you might have a website that's full of news about Bollywood films, and therefore that's getting loads of traffic. But the actual Parasite posts on there that are for casinos and Feet Finder, they might have dropped off. So let's put in the keyword filter, and let's go with review. And this should give us a better idea of the change in more affiliate keywords. So we can see there was a drop, not as much of a drop as we're seeing across the whole of LinkedIn. That's probably going to be to do with branded searches. So for instance, here we've got Swagbucks review, supposedly still number one. There is always a delay with Ahrefs and rank trackers like that. But what we were finding months ago when Google was going mad, sending all this traffic to LinkedIn, was LinkedIn and other parasites were actually ranking for the actual brand name. So not just Swagbucks review, but you'd probably find that just Swagbucks was coming up with LinkedIn in some of the top search results. So if I take this back to the previous 3 months, we should be able to get more of an idea of how those keywords have actually changed. So what I normally do is put in a minimum volume of, so we're showing statistically significant results, and we've got the 2 dates, so 1st of May compared with 1st of February before the update. And then I want to sort by change to see who are the biggest losers and what's gone on there. In fact, 100 in this case probably isn't enough. Let's put in one. It looks like in the UK at least, Pulse, a new article, is still number 1 for Feet Finder review, but we still know there's been a decline. Now, Outlook India, on the other hand, the biggest parasite, the most famous one, that's actually been on the decline for a long time. So it peaked quite late last year, November 2023, and it's been on quite a steady decline ever since then. So very difficult to draw any firm conclusions from that in terms of the specific update. Now, like I say, these parasites do tend to be in India publishing things like sports fixtures. So to really find out what's going on with Parasite SEO, I like to see what someone like Outlook India is ranking for in the US. And that's when you tend to see all the parasites. So BitStars Casino, that's actually gone up supposedly. And the next thing I like to do is sort by traffic value, because that tends to give me the commercial review keywords that have a CPC value rather than just, as you saw, it was number 1 for Britney Spears. So what I've really been noticing in doing these checks lately is generally we're seeing more of these informational queries rather than purely best articles and review articles. So in both these cases, I'm wondering if bests and reviews have actually been specifically targeted. So what we're seeing here is not so much the traditional affiliate keywords anymore. So again, I put in a few filters to filter out the data. So we can see Outlook India is now 30 for Feet Finder. That's just the brand keyword, not the review keyword. And this page has lost 70% of its traffic. We should be able to get an idea of those specific keywords. So yes, it was at position 3. And Feet Finder, or Fleet Finder, actually, that's disappeared. And then a few classic sort of supplementy type reviews, Reverse Health, SugarDaddy.com, Bet365 Cricket Betting, Tactical X Abs Review. You can see these have dropped quite significantly. Not massively, only 5 to 10 positions, but the fact that if you've fallen from page 1 to page 2, that can lose 80% of your traffic. That's why I always say when clients start with me that if you've got keywords ranking at the bottom of page 1, then the ROI of just pushing those to the top through improving the on page and building some backlinks to it is massive. Position 1 gets double the traffic position 2, which gets double the traffic position 3. It's not this smooth linear chart as you climb up the rankings. It's much more logarithmic. So just going from position 6 to 5 to 4, you're basically doubling each time. So massive compounding just from pushing those keywords up. So on the flip side, all these parasites that were on page 1 ranking 4 or 5 for Feet Finder or anything like that, suddenly they're down to 15, 20, then that's all their traffic gone. Now, Times Union, a much more premium parasite, they're expensive, but they do rank very well. That's seeing a lot less volatility in the history. So Psychic Readings is another big niche. That one's dropped a lot, so that's lost 85% of its traffic. Best iPoker site, best online slots. So this is more like what we typically expect from Parasite SEO. So these ones have both dropped by 30%. Actually, that's just the volume of keywords. The actual traffic has dropped 96 and 90%. So when that happens, this 96% drop here for best online slot sites, the question always is, Google isn't a vacuum. What has come up to actually replace those lost rankings? So there is still a Times Union article there. Let's check when this was updated. That was updated on the 11th of April. You do need to be careful when you're doing these checks because quite often you'll put in Outlook India and you'll see it's still ranking for all these keywords. Well, some of those keyword positions haven't updated in 60 days or so. Smaller keywords especially, Ahrefs isn't so quick to pick up on. But we've got USA Today, so major media site that's actually got a betting and casino section. So it's going to be very difficult for anyone to outrank that, DR of 92. And most of these are actually quite high DR gambling sites. We've got a Yahoo Finance, that's probably a press release of some sort. SFGate is a parasite. So definitely still some parasites here. Let's take this search result back to February and see what's changed. So USA Today has actually come up. Discussions and Forums has dropped further down. And here we go, all the parasite sites. Oregon Live, Orlando Magazine, they've all gone. Vegas Slots Online, that's a casino website, so they've dropped as well. Quora seems to have come up. Times Union has come up. I think the biggest winner we can see here is legalsportsreport.com. So high DR, but still technically a niche gambling website. So from this, it doesn't look like Parasite SEO doesn't work anymore, but definitely a reduction in its impact. I'm getting a sense of maybe a 30% reduction in power, because we've still got SF Gate, we've still got Times Union. They've come up, but loads of them also wiped out. Whereas bonus points, it seems, for Yahoo Finance and USA Today. So it looks like more power for more traditional media sites. So how do I like to monitor what's going on with Parasite SEO? I have an account with ClickBank. This is basically a marketplace for affiliate offers, for really high-paying, aggressive affiliate offers, lots of supplements, things like that. So I just go onto their top offers and then look at how people are promoting some of these. So Genius Wave, I believe, is actually a new offer with average of $50 per sale. So I just do a search of Genius Wave. Now, a year ago, this would have been all parasites, whereas right now it seems to be YouTube and Reddit, which says a lot. Now, these people ranking with YouTube videos, that's something I've been trying to figure out for a long time. And then we've got an MSN page there as well. Now, MSN is normally syndicated. So if you click on that, you can typically see the source of the article. So here it's come from Deccan Times, which actually itself is a parasite. So this is a parasite article that's then been syndicated to MSN, and it's the MSN page that's ranking. Now, that's exactly how Magic PR works. They write you a press release and get that on Globe Newswire, distributed to hundreds of high-quality websites to get lots of power into your site. But they'll also syndicate those to Yahoo Finance, MSN, and Business Insider. So it takes a bit of work in order to actually get parasite articles through the editing process and approved by editors, but Magic PR does have experience with that. So it's absolutely possible to do Parasite SEO with MSN, with Yahoo Finance, and Business Insider, which, based on what I'm seeing today, those seem to be coming up. These more traditional news sites seem to be getting more power over the traditional parasite websites of the Indian sites like Outlook India, Deccan Herald, all of those, Times Union. Now, another popular ClickBank product, Dentitox, that's actually listed on Amazon. So there's Amazon reviews ranking in the top spots. Then we have another one of these YouTube videos. Then we've also got the Microsoft CRM portals. That's a trick that seems to have blown up very recently, kind of like the Reddit trick. It seems like these Microsoft CRM portals are possible to actually get an article listed that ranked really well. They're always on a different subdomain. So this is basically a platform that's been provided to different organizations. I've tried joining some of them, but I can't seem to actually get through and get posting rights. So how they've actually managed that, I'm not too sure. Another interesting trend I've noticed lately is actually Outlook India tag categories, topics, also seem to rank quite well. And this has always been a problem with Parasite SEO, that it tends to favor the most recent article. So if everyone is spamming Outlook India with their top 10 casinos article, generally it's the latest article that gets the position, and Google's unlikely to display multiple results from the same Outlook India website. So the fact there's a whole category of Dentitox Pro reviews ranking on Google is really telling. So you'll probably find on there's a whole load of those parasite posts. I'm intrigued. Yeah, and there we go. But I'm intrigued that it seems to be this actual category page, just the tag, the mention of Dentitox Pro, that seems to be ranking rather than the articles. So is that something to do with the latest update? Has Google somehow figured out that Outlook India shouldn't be tanked, but just the parasite articles should be devalued, and yet the category page remains? That's really interesting. But like I say, generally going from niche to niche through ClickBank products, it does seem to be YouTube that's absolutely dominating this niche, taking over page one in some cases, and then a Reddit post. So I've said many times now, I have had some great success with Reddit. I was able to make $5,000 very easily, but I've not worked out how to actually make that more sustainable in the longer term. Now, in my membership community, we do actually have some really high-level people working on Reddit. Some interesting stories coming out. One person saying that Reddit traffic is so valuable for them, they're literally doing churn and burn. So they'll buy an aged account, perform some of the Reddit tricks I've covered on my channel, and yes, that Reddit account will be banned within a couple of days. But in those couple of days, it'll get so much traffic to their website, it is worth it for them. So they've industrialized the process, created an SOP, and they're just doing churn and burn. Get a new account, rank that post, rank that comment, get the traffic, get banned, and then do it all again, rinse and repeat. It's still proving valuable for them. So this is the kind of value and expertise you can get from a mastermind, where just hanging around and listening to high-level people who are at the rock face, testing out different things, and it's inevitable. You find absolutely incredible stories that you would never have thought of, but people are really taking things to a new level. So we can't possibly all do everything. So it really pays to share and collaborate, share what we're doing, share our results, and that can be a massive shortcut. It really is true that a rising tide floats all ships. So as usual, link below. There's still plenty of early bird offers left for the mastermind, but once they're gone, they're gone. The super early bird sold out in 24 hours. But what I really want to crack is these video rankings where, at an industrial scale, these people are basically hiring actresses. They're getting these videos ranking on Google really quickly, and they're doing it multiple times. So you can simply go through these channels and see exactly what they're doing. So they've got this AI content in the description, long form SEO content. They've got their affiliate links in there. They've got chapters, stuffed a load of keywords in there. Whatever they're doing is working really well. So if I just take this one example of Cimerix Carson, we can go through and you can see they're using all these different hired actors. So we've got a dude over here. We've got other girls promoting these products. Their posting frequency is massive, and I think that's part of the trick. So 1,200 videos published, and just in the last 24 hours, we've got Pure Revive 3 hours ago, Fitspresso 6 hours ago, Icaria Lean Belly Juice 10 hours ago, and it's constant. And somehow they're manipulating these views really heavily. So YouTube rankings are very engagement based. They're about virality and watch time, and there are all kinds of tricks you can use to achieve that. One is CTR Booster, where ironically, if you search CTR Booster, it's my YouTube video that ranks number 2 on Google. Right now, I just want the brand page. Now, CTR Booster is basically a robot that uses a rotating 4G proxy. So every half an hour, its IP address changes. So it looks like unique visitors. Now, you don't want to go blasting 500 clicks a day to your video using a CTR Booster, but the point is you want to get your watch time up. So with a small number of clicks, a small number of views, you want this robot to search your keyword, click on your video, watch the full thing, and then basically close and then go away again. And in half an hour, when the IP address has changed, it can come back and do the same again. So over time, you build up this really good watch time. Another one here, Flamingo Online, they're doing the exact same thing. Wouldn't even be surprised if it's the same person. Now, I've been told that actually one of the key factors in getting these video results, getting your video onto Google, is actually embeds. The more times your video actually gets embedded across the internet. And that's much more to do with the Google rankings than the separate YouTube rankings. Let's not forget, I've said it before, Globe Newswire is a pretty powerful parasite. So if you do publish a press release with someone like Magic PR that uses Globe Newswire, that can actually rank for keywords as well. So this SteelBite Pro review, another ClickBank supplement, they're getting around 7,500 visitors per month just with a Globe Newswire press release. But in order to get those embeds for your YouTube video, press releases are actually a trick you can use. So I've done that in the past just using EIN Presswire for less than $100. So I just did a video on YouTube SEO. This was back in October. So I have a page of content optimized for the keywords I'm trying to rank for. And then towards the bottom, I've got my video embedded in that press release. And that press release has gone out then to 250 other websites with that video embed. Now I've heard you can even go a step further. I've tested it out a few times where you can actually get CTR Booster to come and visit your press release, come onto your powerful HiDR webpage, scroll down to your video, and then watch the video through the embed. And that gives even more power. So you're getting that watch time, you're getting those embeds, and those embeds are actually driving traffic and engagement. Now, another tool I've used that has done all of this is actually VidOptima, where it's basically an engagement platform, but it actually uses real people. They've got a network of employees around the world who are basically paid to search your keywords, click on your results, and watch your videos through to the end on repeat. So it's like CTR Booster, getting your watch time up, but they're real people, real IP addresses with history and aged accounts. So if we scroll down here, it says real searches, real clicks, engaged long views on repeat. So they actually watch the video, drag the slider back, watch it again several times over. And VidOptima will also do a load of embeds and entity stacking as well. There is a way you can do that yourself without using VidOptima, which is with Money Robot. Now, Money Robot I haven't actually talked about for a while. It's quite an old grey hat, black hat spam machine, basically. It just creates hundreds or even thousands of pages on Web 2.0s. So you have to run it ideally on a virtual private server, so you can just close your laptop and walk away and it keeps running in the background. But it'll basically take your content. You can set it to spin your content, so it's always unique, but it'll then, there's an example here, it'll then post that content on hundreds of other websites and even build tiered links to them from its vast network of sites. So all low quality shady stuff, you never actually do this for your own website, but if you're building tiers, it can work. And for videos, it's great because you can simply put in your optimized article there and embed your video there. So just like I did with this press release, you can put in your optimized content and then put in your embed and then press the button and it will go and embed that video across hundreds of websites. So that's a way you can do it for yourself. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's how VidOptima do it, but they then power that up with loads of real humans around the world searching your keyword, often searching your brand, clicking your videos and watching them through to the end, getting that watch time up, pushing them higher up. So I'm really impressed by these guys who have just industrialized this process. No idea what the ROI is from that, but seems to be working, otherwise they wouldn't do it. Seems like they're just publishing the same videos over and over again, lightly edited, chopping them a bit, changing them over so they're still technically unique content, and just reposting it, blasting it with engagement, probably blasting it with embeds as well. And they seem to be able to get those videos popping up top of Google very quickly. But definitely seems like to be a recency bias, so it looks like you've got to keep constantly uploading in order to actually maintain that. So you really need a high paying offer to make that worthwhile. But I think this Genius Wave product I found on ClickBank, that's really telling. The fact that the whole search result is just dominated by these few YouTube channels, and then we've got one LinkedIn post and then a Reddit. So that says a lot about the future of Parasite SEO. One thing to note about search volumes, a lot of these products tend to be newer products, so quite often they won't be showing up in Ahrefs as having any volume, even though they do get searched a lot. Things like ClickBank products, you'll find a lot of paid ads people will be promoting them. And that's great news for you because people will see those ads and then immediately go away and Google for reviews. So just because there's no volume in Ahrefs doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So years ago, there was a AI copywriting software I used to promote. They were spending a load on Facebook ads. I was able to be one of their first affiliates, ranked #1 for their brand name. So as soon as anyone was getting those ads and then searching for reviews, they were seeing my review and clicking my affiliate link. And yet for months in Ahrefs, it was showing a 0 volume. This keyword didn't even exist in the database. But on the flip side, you still need to be careful because if people are using, for instance, CTR Booster and tools like that, then you can actually inflate the search volume in Ahrefs. So you might be going through trying to choose products from here and do keyword research and find that some of these supplements are getting 6,000 searches per month. And quite often that's just not true. There's just loads of affiliates there driving really aggressive CTR manipulation to try and push up their videos, push up their organic listings, and that volume simply doesn't exist. That's exactly what James Dooley does. So I discovered this a long time ago and grilled him about it, and the traffic dropped off, but more recently it's popped up again. If you search James Dooley, you'll see why is James Dooley the best business mentor for SEO? Gets 1,000 searches per month, apparently. Why is James Dooley the best SEO mentor for business? James Dooley awarded the best SEO mentorship program. It goes on and on. No one is making this volume of searches around James Dooley, but he's achieving this using, I've now found out, his own tool called Signal Boy. So Signal Boy is just a general tool for social signals, but on the back end, they are actually able to manipulate traffic data like that. And the benefit of that is if we just click on one of these searches, by manipulating the source data like this, Dooley can actually influence other bloggers to write about him. This is like PR through reverse engineering. So here we can see Chase Rayner has written an article on why is James Dooley the best SEO in the world. There's this agency that's picked up on that exact keyword. Why is James Dooley the best SEO mentor for business? So if you can manipulate the search volume like this, then you can basically manipulate publishers around the world into writing about you because they know that to maintain topical relevance, they've got to cover every single SEO keyword out there. So currently that offer on Signal Boy is actually hidden because it's quite a technical process, but I have had word from James that there is going to be a much more accessible offer in the near future if you specifically ask for it, if you know what you want, because obviously it's not something that everyone on the street knows about and understands. But for that reason, my main point of telling you this is just as a point of consideration for your own security. For one thing, just because the #1 result doesn't have any traffic on the Ahrefs Chrome extension, that doesn't mean that there's no volume there. I'm sure there's plenty of searches for the Genius Wave. But equally, at the same time, there could be loads of searches there and there's simply no traffic. It's just been manipulated from other people doing CTR manipulation. So a few things to consider there. Very long-winded video this time, but hopefully you've got loads of value for it. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to comment any questions below. And like I say, go to SEOJesus.com, sign up to Ranking Revelations, and sign up to my mastermind before the price goes up. You'll get 2 calls with me a month. You can grill me on whatever I'm working on right now. And I'll also be doing live demos of some of my projects, Q&As, topic requests, and I'm also going to get some really good guest speakers in. So lots to look forward to, really high-level coaching for a very small monthly fee.